and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kay, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you the rustic wedding favors that we gave out to guests who attended our wedding. So these are the wedding favors that we passed out to guests at the wedding. They actually were a big hit amongst our guests. We had people taking extras that we had home, and they just thought that they were cute and loved how they were put together and also what came inside of them. Now, when it came to the wedding favors, we wanted to do something that was practical for guests to use. I've seen a lot of things as far as candles, honey, blankets, anything like that we saw. But since we did have a rustic type nature theme, we wanted to stick on the nature side of it and include some things that we personally like to use and some things that a variety of people wouldn't mind using. So let's go over what is inside of the wedding favor, starting with the container that holds everything. Now, this is the container that the wedding favors were held in, which it's super cute. It's a mini crate. We ended up going with these because they match the crate that we ended up using for the dessert stand. They're just miniature versions of that same exact crate. Now, these crates I picked up last year, I believe from Michael's. These did become unstained. I think they sell stained ones, but I decided to go with the unstained so that I could use the same stain from the dessert table and also use it on that. So we had a lot of these, like a lot, where we had to go through and stain every single tiny crevice of it and then wait for them to dry and then seal. And this was the finished product. The pink hearts that you see on here actually did not come with the crate. We attached these ourselves. I took a fabric swatch that I had from my wedding colors. We took it into our local hardware shop, or you can take it into a Home Depot, a Lowe's, anything like that. And we actually got the swatch color match. So this heart on here is the exact color of my dusty rose color from the wedding. These hearts, I did get them off of Amazon. I bought them a while ago, so I'm not sure how much I paid for them, but if you guys really want to order these or anything, let me know in the comments down below, and I will leave a comment with the link to these little cute hearts. These hearts did come in a natural wood color, and we just painted over them and then took some wood glue and attached them to the crate and let them dry. So the next portion of the wedding favor were these Palo Santo sticks. So a lot of you might already know about these. If you don't, Palo Santo comes from a holy wood usually found in South America. And if you ever smelled one of these, they smell super, super good. But they're just, you burn them and they bring good energy. So I did have some jute twine that was left over from the centerpieces. So we just took that and attached 2 pieces per favor box together. The Palo Santo sticks I ended up getting from a website called One Love Holistics. I ended up getting a pound that roughly cost about $28. In that pound, it was around 78 nicely sized sticks. So I was able to make bundles of 2, or I could even stretch them and make bundles of 3, but I did keep some for myself to use. Now, the reason that we chose to go with the Palo Santo stick as one of the wedding favors to give to our guests, because it is said that when you burn them, it brings in creativity and it also brings in love to the place that you are burning it in. So I felt like that was a great way to start off our wedding. Next in the wedding favor, we had these little, I don't know what to call it, packages in everyone's. Now, these are mini rose sage bundles. I got these from Etsy. Probably going to butcher the name. It's called Paradigm by SG, I believe. But I'll also leave that on the screen so that if you want to buy anything from their shop, you can get these same exact bundles. If you are planning on ordering your wedding favors in, especially off of a site like Etsy, the best thing for you to do before you order anything is to contact the sellers. Let them know that you're going to be buying a bulk amount of something from their shop, just to make sure that the processing time will meet what you need, and also to ensure that they have enough of the materials. I looked at tons and tons and tons of sellers on Etsy who sold sage bundles. However, for the amount that I was ordering, I felt like the price point wasn't fully there for the quality that I was getting. But with this shop, what I paid for was definitely worth it, considering that every one of these sage bundles was assembled by hand, and they all came individually wrapped with cute wasabi tape around to keep it sealed. And each couple of them had different wasabi tape on them, which was actually cool and made them a lot more customized for our guest. So from that shop, I was able to purchase about 30 of them at $2.12 a piece. In whole, I spent $64, and I believe that included shipping, so definitely not bad. Let me go ahead and get this one open so that you guys can see what it actually looks like. So once opened, this is what the mini sage bundles look like. So as you can see, they're all hand assembled. I have sage in there, there's lavender, and there's also baby's breath wrapped in rose petals, and then all tied together with a string. So this is something that I knew that our guests would love, whether they use it or not. I feel like a lot of them will be using it, but if they don't use it, it's also just something pretty to use as a decoration piece inside the house. So that's what that looked like. Now, to go along with the Palo Santo sticks and the rose bundle, we thought it would be beneficial to provide a little information card with the wedding favor, just in case some of our guests didn't know what to do with the items, you know, what the symbolism was behind them. So on my Cricut machine, I was able to print out cute little cards with information about the Palo Santo and also about the sage bundles. This is what it ended up looking like. I did use the writing pen on the Cricut machine. By the way, if you are planning on doing a lot of DIY stuff for your wedding, as far as handwriting, cutting, invitations, anything like that, I do suggest that you get a Cricut machine. I'm gonna make a whole separate video about that, but I used that so much during the wedding. It cut costs like no other, and there was so much I was able to do with it that just took a huge load off. But back to the card. So for the card, we had a section that said Palo Santo, and it says, a tree that grows on the coast of South America. In Spanish, the name means holy wood. When burned, it is said to inspire creativity, bring love, and good fortune. And then at the bottom, we put a smudge prayer for the sage bundle, just in case guests wanted to use it but didn't know how to use it when they got home. So this is something that is generic. Anybody can use it for when they want to burn the bundle. So for the smudging prayer, I found this online. So it says, into the smoke, I release all energies that no longer serve me, all negativity that surrounds me, and all fears that limit me, so it is. So just something short that they could use if they wanted. It also just brought the whole thing together because it's cute. So why not? Now, I knew for sure, as soon as I thought wedding favors, I wanted to do something with a mason jar. I just didn't know what. Up until, I would say, 2 months before the wedding, my plan was to make candles and put them in this mason jar. But as it got closer and doing more research, I decided I am not a candle maker. So scratch that idea. Now I'm freaking out. So what can I put inside of the jars? I did a lot of research. I was going to just scratch the mason jars completely, and I was just gonna go and buy candles to put in there, but I felt like everything else in the favor was so personalized. I also wanted this last piece that is honestly the main piece of the favor to also be personalized. So then I was down to, I knew I wanted some type of scent. The rose bundle smells great, the Palo Santo smells great, so I wanted one last scent element that just smelt great. So I was doing research on Etsy, and I ended up coming across Stovetop Potpourri. Now, this is something that I didn't know existed. I had never heard of it before until I came across it on Etsy. And when I came across it, it was pretty much just different herbs thrown into a pot that make your house smell great. So I spent about 2 weeks looking for potpourri, and my biggest problem that I found was I didn't trust ordering it off of Etsy because 1, I couldn't tell what it smelled like. 2, I was on a time crunch, so if I got it and didn't like it, it was probably gonna be a problem returning it. And 3, I felt like the amount that they were giving wouldn't be enough for my guests. So I had the bright idea to drag my now husband along off to the natural grocery store to go and collect all of the herbs and spices ourselves and make it at home. And this is the wonderful concoction that we came up with, and this was also a big hit to where we had guests afterwards calling us and telling us how much they loved our stovetop potpourri. Like, once you just open the lid without even cooking it on the stove yet, you can just smell everything. So we ended up going with a fall scent since our wedding was in November, and it also has a scent that can carry off into Christmas, and you can get multiple uses out of this, which is also something that I felt would be great. This is the jar that we have just to keep ourselves. It's because we kept a favor for ourselves. If you're making your favors, don't forget to save a favor for yourself. But on the jars that we gave the guest, they actually had a label that went across the front, and on the label it said Stovetop Potpourri, and it gave the instructions on how to use it. On the top of the jars, this is on the lid, we ended up making a label. I made this label with my Cricut machine. So if you're doing anything DIY, get a Cricut machine. I will post a video just on the wonders of the Cricut machine in DIYs, so definitely watch out for that video. But on the label we just put our initials, we put thank you, and then we put the date of our wedding, and that was the wedding favor. Now, I don't have an exact recipe to making the stovetop potpourri, so if you plan on making it yourself, I would say just try it out and see what works. Me and my now husband, we went in, we just put some water in a pot, and then we just started throwing spices in until it smelled the way that we wanted it. And then we wrote down those measurements and we divided them up into all of our mason jars to make sure that they all smelled the same when people burn them. What went into the stovetop potpourri, we ended up putting apples in there. I took, I think, 2 apples or maybe 3, and I sliced them super thin and dried them out in the oven. Also, we put in cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, star anise, cardamom pods, and there was one more thing that we put in there. They're these little, I forgot what they're called. So if you remember what these are called, please tell me in the comments below, because we used all of them and I don't have them in a bag anymore, so I don't remember. But all of those mixed together just gives off the most wonderful fall, end of the year type smell. I did have kids attend the wedding, so if you have kids attending the wedding, the best thing that I found was to get them something that, one, that they not only like taking home, but also something to keep them entertained during the reception. So I knew that I wanted to get the kids who were coming something special, something that they would enjoy, something different from what the adults had. So I ended up making all the kids who came cute little goodie bags. I will insert a picture here. But I ended up finding little craft gift baggies off of Amazon, and then I went to Target, which is the holy grail of everything random you can possibly find and goodie bag heaven. So I ended up picking up from Target coloring books, crayons, Play-Doh, little rubber balls, little miniature toys, and threw them all in a bag, put each kid's name on the bag. We ended up having a kids table, so the venue ended up setting up all the bags at the kids table, and the kids love them. Between dancing and the oversized yard games and the goodie bags, the kids were just having a blast. Those were the wedding favors for the wedding. Now, something that completely surprised me was that our dessert table ended up becoming a wedding favor for guests. I'm gonna insert another picture around here somewhere of the dessert table, and you'll also see how the crates ended up looking that I painted in a couple videos ago. But I'll give you a close-up because I still have some left. These were part of our dessert tables. And these are chocolate dipped Oreos that came in these cute little domes. Now, these ones I cannot take credit for. I did not DIY these myself. A family friend actually owns a sweet business and it's based out of Las Vegas. But she ended up making not only these chocolate dipped Oreos, they also came in white, but she also made chocolate dipped pretzel sticks, all matching the theme and the colors of the wedding, by the way. And she brought these down and hand delivered them from Las Vegas. These inadvertently became a must grab item by our guests. So this is her company name. It's called Larry Sweets. I'll go ahead and also put a link to her Facebook page and the Instagram down on the screen here below. She's working on shipping, so I would definitely check her out. I'm glad that people ended up liking them, and I'm glad that they were able to serve a purpose as another wedding favor just because. But that is all that I have for you today. If you have any questions about anything in this video, leave me a comment down below. If you just want to say hi, leave me a comment below. Go ahead and like this video, and don't forget to share it with anyone you know who is struggling to find wedding favors. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!